just getting straight into it right here. I'm of the age where I first learned about you and Jackyl through Beavis and Butthead. And I'm sure I'm not the only one on that end. But you have such a fascinating career when it comes to all the entrepreneurial stuff you did and do. What exactly was it, or when was it, that led you to realizing, hey, I'm going to be more than a singer?
As far as the other businesses that I'm in?
Sure, because Mighty Loud is growing. Of course, that is happening. And, it just kind of never stops with you.
It's all synergetic, though, and it's all things that I've got a passion for, whether it be Sturgis and the motorcycle rally or working with Harley Davidson. And, we've been, producing events for them and consulting them, and we're partners with them in Sturgis as far as them, headquartering out of the campground, the Full Throttle Saloon's Pappy Oil campground. The Full Throttle Saloon itself is a legendary place. The Jesse James Bourbon, as you just held up. In some states, we have the Devil's Devil Cinnamon Whiskey, which is doing really great. And we're just kind of coming out of the gate with it over the last year. But the Jesse James Bourbon celebrating 150,000 cases sold. But then the band and just all the different things we do. I mean, it's all synergetic, and I've been blessed and excited to do all of it. So it's not like waking up and going to work. I'm fortunate enough to be able to love what I do. And Lord knows I've sold enough liquor for other people over the years. I might as well be selling some of my own, right? But I'm proud because you don't have to take out a second mortgage to buy some Jesse James bourbon. It's priced for blue collar America, people that bust their knuckles 40, 50 hours a week, or more. I'm just another asshole that got named Jesse James. We all celebrate the outlaw in each one of us that likes to go to NASCAR and country shows, rock shows, whatever the case may be, bike rallies, and so we put it out loud, proud, hard, and honest, and with everything we do.
Was it that you were a singer who happened to be an entrepreneur, or an entrepreneur that was a singer?
I'm a singer that probably and technically is probably only qualified to pour concrete, which is what I did before. I've been very fortunate to over the years to be able to get into other things, and it's not rocket science. I mean, all the things that I do are relationship based, and I mean, my relationship with the people that have supported us over the years are the same people that support the Jesse James bourbon, and so many of them know the story too, that I came out with this bourbon and I was really enjoying learning about it, and it's really crazy how the liquor business is going through everything that the music business went through 25 years ago. The liquor business, whenever our first album came out, when Jackal's first album came out, nobody wanted to be on a major label. Everybody wanted independent music, alternative music, and the grunge music and that kind of thing, and the shoegazers, the guys that were playing great music, but they weren't really, into putting on a spectacle of a show,
right.
far into the spectrum from a Kiss or an AC/DC or something. And but we came out right in the middle of that, and we broke through, and now the liquor business, people don't want to just drink, their grandfather's liquor. They want to find their own craft spirits. And but the big boys still rule the world, and we'll start making headway in a town and in a store or whatever, and then all of a sudden we'll find that the distributor's kind of burying us, and it's because the big boys are telling them, look, pull them back, and so we're constantly fighting that fight, and because it's political, and it's a cutthroat. Those big boys want to squash you. If you start making any noise at all, they want to squash you. And so we've been fighting that fight and holding our own. But it helps to have the people that are supporting us like they have, and they get on social media and they say, hey, they don't have your honey anymore here. They don't have your honey bourbon, or they don't have they're not carrying your spice bourbon, or where can I find some single barrel? And they're having to suss this out and find it, and it's that communication and that support from the fans that has been a blessing, and it's been a challenge, but it's also been fun to be a thorn in the side of those guys that have had it to their own for so long. Sorry about that. I'll cut this ringer down.
Right. So when you started out, I'm sure people were looking at your products and going, yeah, that's the guy from Jackals alcohol. But at this point, are you finding that a lot of people are loving your products and going, wait, that guy's a singer? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, the again, I haven't really run around screaming that it's my bourbon, because again, I wanted to put it out. I want it to mean what it means to whoever's drinking it. It's not about me. I mean, if you don't like Jackyl, then that has nothing to do with some great tasting brown liquor, And to your point, I've got plenty of people that have found the liquor that not necessarily fans of Jackyl or rock and roll or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, where I can help the brand out and do things that bring attention and get it in the liquid to the lips so that they can taste it, I'll do it. But at the same time, I want people to take ownership of this and be able to be proud of a great whiskey that, again, they don't have to spend an arm and a leg for. And I mean, the blue label is a little more expensive. That's about a $39 bottle on the shelf, but that's an aged Tennessee whiskey that we limited edition, and it's the Tennessee whiskey we got sitting in the barrel house now is going to 6 years old.
Right. I'm very impressed, though, that you knew outright, though, that, hey, I got to do more than music. Because a lot of the bands that were popular in the first wave of Jackal's popularity, they didn't know that, and they went down to small clubs, and that was kind of that. But you also reinvented yourself as more of a Sturgis artist. You mentioned Sturgis before, and you've produced content related to that. I think that you might have been the first musician to outwardly embrace Sturgis from the heavy metal genre. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, Sturgis was a little bit more of an older school than us, I mean, as far as, the music that was playing out there, the Skinnards and the, stuff like that. But I mean, Def Leppard played there. I mean, at that point, but I mean, over the years now, we've had Rob Zombie and everything from Rob Zombie to Big and Rich to Blackberry Smoke to Trace Atkins and Steel Panthers playing there this year. They played there before. I mean, it's such a diverse bunch, and we have a lot of active rock stations that come up and broadcast. Jackyl has been able to stay in a bit of our own gray area, our own private Idaho, if you will, as far as what we do. Right. We've never tried to play the game to worry about being critically acclaimed, nor would that have helped us any. We've just stayed true to what we do, and we have made a connection with, not just, NASCAR and motorcycle crowds and stuff, just people that work for a living, just where we came from. And we're just a blues-based rock band that has a fun when you come out. It's not about coming to see the show. It's about coming to be part of it. We got a DVD that I'm just in the process of finishing up the edit on, and it's a 9-camera video shoot that we did at the Midland Theater. Jackyl did in December, and I'm excited about getting that because it's the first and the best representation of Jackals live performance in a long time. Right.
And you're probably the number one artist that I think of when I think of chainsaws. The number two would probably be Cherie Curry from the Runaways. I'm not sure if you know her personally, but
didn't Wendy O. Williams played one at one time, or she raised hell with one at one point, or went into a.
Yeah, she does her chainsaw art is a good part of her income right there. Yeah. And I asked her, hey, do you have an endorsement? She told me about that. Who do you endorse in the chainsaw world?
I know, I play a steel chainsaw. Over the years, I've played Johnson Reds, and Johnson Reds kind of had a little bit more of a harder time in America and it wasn't by design. I actually just found the chainsaw at a tool rental place, and it sounded good. But I've since been using a steel chainsaw. But the steel guys wanted me to put on all this safety gear and stuff before I played the lumberjack, and goggles and knee pads and all kind of crazy stuff. Right. And so it just didn't really work to hammer anything out with them. But I do play. I mean, that thing I pull the cord once and it fires up, and there we go.
So we've talked about the whiskey. There's a DVD in the works. It sounds like you're holding up just fine, that you're staying busy with work and on the projects that you love to do.
Yeah, we've all had our ass kicked with the quarantine and such, but we've stayed busy with that. And I went in and I've got a country album that I'm doing under the Jesse James Dupree and Dixie Inc., and I'm going to be putting that out at some point. As of right now, I've got a single that's out called "It Didn't Fall from the Sky," which is a tribute to our truck drivers, and you can see the video for that on YouTube. It didn't fall from the sky. It didn't fall from the sky, and you can also download it at iTunes or stream it at Spotify and Pandora's and all that. Universal grabbed a hold of it and put it out over the last couple of weeks. It's been doing really good as well. It's different to hear me singing in a more of a country voice. I like the challenge of stretching out, learning how to do new things. But Jackyl's still alive and well. And I thought I just turned that ringer down. Sorry about that.
You're a man in demand. I think if anybody now didn't know how busy you were, they now.
I don't know what the hell I turned down, but there you go. Got it. So yeah, it's just one of those things that I love doing, different, something out of the box. And I actually carried Dixie Inc. out on the road, and we did a couple of weeks worth of dates together, and it went over great.
And where is everything headquartered for you out of?
I'm in Kennesaw, Georgia, which is just north of the city of Atlanta.
Isn't that where you're originally from? Wikipedia at least says so.
Yeah. I grew up here in just about 5 miles up the road in Ackworth, Georgia, and went to school here. And I got pressured to move away to, New York and California over the years, by various business, mainly the record business, trying to get me to move, but I just couldn't ever find it in my soul to get away from here.
Right. And everything is kind of entertainment based anyway. It is, any way you look at it in Georgia, the biggest film studios there in Atlanta through Tyler Perry, Usher, and everybody has their roots there. So you never moved away from Georgia? You always stayed right there?
Yeah. I mean, again, I live out of hotels in Los Angeles, but over the years, but I've never could find it to move away.
Got it. So in closing, Jesse, because you've given me so much to work with here, any last words for the kids?
Just raise them to rock, and that's the most important thing. We've enjoyed over the years as our core audience from the early '90s when our first album came out. If they've gotten older and now their kids are at an age where they over the last 5+ years or so, their kids are all coming out now in their 20s and such, and enjoying the band. So we've witnessed an incredible transformation within our crowds, and even with coming to Sturgis, there's a large amount of younger people that are coming up there as well. So it's good for the event. With the pandemic going on and such, there's obviously a need to be respectful of, if you've got some kind of an existing condition that you don't need to get coronavirus, then don't come or stay the hell away from all of us. If you do, the rest of us need to be respectful and responsible and do whatever it takes to stick within your little clique of friends that you come up with, and enjoy the Black Hills and the Full Throttle and the camping on the campground. And we look forward to seeing everybody in August. That'll be Jackal's first show back. Okay.
Looking forward to that. And I did forget to ask, are you still the Guinness World Record holder for the number of concerts in, was it 3 days or something like that?
We did 100 shows in 50 days.
100 shows in 50 days.
And then we also set another record for 21 shows in a 24-hour period.
And it still holds up on both ends?
I challenge anybody to go break those records, because it'll kill you. Yeah, I mean, and if somebody does break it, more power to them. They will have earned it if they did it like we did. I mean, all of our shows were full PA sound, lights, the whole bit. So no acoustic jaunting around and doing one or two songs. I mean, we were kicking it out, legitimate shows.
There's no quit with you. So really more power to you for everything you're doing, and really hope to see you live in New York in the near future. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Yeah, we hopefully we'll get back up there soon. And thank you so much for the time and shouting out. Enjoy that Liquid America you got there. That Jesse, hold that bottle up again. Hold it up there. Come on, labels
we
out.
We can hold up the little one, or we can hold up the big one. Whatever it is.
You got that honey bourbon. That's good stuff. You have a great day, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Jesse. Take care.